on, everybody? Welcome back today for another video. Just want to say you guys been killing it. I got like 16 new subscribers in like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 days, which is awesome, guys. Thank you for that, and thank you for liking the videos, commenting. You know, I always love communicating with you guys, so I really appreciate that. Today, just getting the Jeep ready for winter pretty much. I'm not going to be driving it much because I have the Subaru, which is all-wheel drive. But, you know, for deep snow and stuff, probably take this thing out. I don't really want to drive it too much with the salt on the ground. But, you know, we'll see what happens. So I'm going to do an oil change on this today. And then on next week's video, I'm going to be repairing the A-arm in the back. It's actually going to be today for me, but it's going to be next week for you guys. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to be replacing the bushings in it. The bushings are totally destroyed, but I just want to go over what oil I run in this thing. So I run Shell Rotella 10W30, and there's a reason why I do that. These motors are very, very old technology. They do like all the additives that diesel oil have, which is why I run Shell Rotella. I was recommended to Shell Rotella years and years and years ago for the 4-liter, just because it's better for the camshaft. And you know, these do have camshaft problems. The cam does wear like egg-shaped, so you definitely want to make sure you prevent that the best you can. Also, not on my motor now, but my old motor with all the miles and stuff, this oil actually made it a little bit quieter. These are noisy motors from the factory, and when they get up there in miles, they do get even noisier. As far as I know, it's something to do with either the lifters or it's something to do with the piston skirts, I want to say. Because they use an aluminum piston and a cast iron block, so they expand at different rates. So when the Jeep's cold, it'll like knock around, like you'll hear it. It'll almost sound like a rod knock, but it's not a rod knock. It's piston slap. So that's just something to look out for also. Like I said, they are noisy motors, so don't be alarmed if they are making noise, because they do that. But let's get this oil changed, get everything ready. I already did my tire rotation. I did at work yesterday, so I don't have to do that. And I greased all my suspension components and everything the last oil change. So normally you wait like 2 oil changes. So I normally do the rotation and the greasing at the same oil change interval, but with the tires being new and everything, I wanted to rotate them early. So yeah, I already did that. But every 2 oil changes, make sure you grease everything you can underneath. Like anything with the grease fitting, make sure you grease it while you're doing your oil change. Like I said, every 2 oil changes I do that. Every 2 oil changes I do a tire rotation. So those are already done, but I still need to change the oil and get everything, you know, ready and good. As when I say Shell Rotella, I'm talking about the white bottle, non-synthetic oil. This is just your conventional motor oil. It's non-synthetic, non-high miles. It's just regular oil. I do use 1030 because that's what the Jeep calls for. And I don't care what you see online, it takes 6 quarts. Any 4-liter takes 6 quarts. I'm tired of like looking online and people like, oh, it takes 5.5. Oh, it takes 5. No, it takes 6 quarts to be full. I can guarantee you. And then every time that I do change the oil on this, I use a Mopar filter. I always have. I literally won't run another filter. So this is what comes from the factory. This is what we're putting on. So let's hop right into it. So on this particular vehicle, I do have an oil catch can. I emptied this yesterday. You just screw this off and dump it out. It has a nice little dipstick, so you can actually check and see, you know, if it's full or empty or whatever. Mine's empty. Like I said, I emptied it. So if you have one of those, make sure you're emptying this. You know, I don't wait till full oil change. Like I empty this every couple weeks just to make sure it's not overflowing or anything, because if it starts to get too high, it'll get sucked into your motor and kind of defeats the purpose of the oil catch can. So yeah. So on this particular vehicle, your oil filter is down here on the side of the motor. It's right there. I get that from the top, and then I go underneath and get the drain plug. If you're lifted, it's very easy. You just crawl up underneath, no jacks or anything needed. If you're not lifted, if you're a bigger guy, you're probably gonna need a jack. This is an aftermarket valve cover, so your cap is gonna be a twist off cap. This is a cap that I got because I lost the one that came with the valve cover. If you guys seen my other videos, you'll know that I had issues with that oil cap, and as you can see, that one fits extremely tight in there, so we definitely won't have no issues there. But yeah, so let me get that filter off there, and then we'll crawl up underneath and get the drain plug. And I do have a magnetic drain plug on here, so I'll show you what that's all about. And yeah, let's just get everything done here. All right, so here's your drain plug. It's very, very easy to access on this car. If you have a stock drain plug, it's gonna be like a 16 millimeter, I think mine used to be. Mine, like I said, I have a magnetic one, so it's a 14. If you do have a drain plug like this, you need to be very careful because this is aluminum. So you don't want to strip it, you know what I mean? So let me get 2 hands on this, unloosen this, and I'll show you guys how the oil looks when it starts draining. Okay, so the oil's draining. Yes, it's pretty black. That's pretty common for a 4-liter. They are really, really nasty motors, almost kind of like a diesel. I mean, you think about it, they're an inline 6 just like the Cummins, and yeah. So they're just not turbocharged, but that's pretty normal, your oil for it to be black. I promise you the inside of my motor is spotless. Like I said, I built this motor and I know it's got no issues, so yeah. This is the magnetic drain plug I'm talking about. I know it's not really focusing here, but as you can see, there's very, very fine metal particles on the tip. That's normal. You're always gonna have a little bit of wear in an engine. Same thing with like a transmission, you know, drain plug. If it's magnetic, it's gonna have a little bit of like fine metal on there, which is perfectly normal. So don't be alarmed by that. I'm gonna get this cleaned off. And then anytime you're doing your oil change, I highly suggest picking one of these up. This is a kit of oil change washers. I would recommend changing them if you do have them, just because you don't want to leak out of your drain plug, especially when you just put fresh oil in it, because now you pretty much got to do your oil change again, or you got to catch the oil and then put it back in, which is just a pain in the butt. Just change the washer. You can even buy these singles. They're so cheap, and it's just good insurance. So I'm going to get this thing cleaned off, and then I'm going to put it back in. I still have to pull the filter off and change the washer, and we should be ready to rip. Just put oil in it and it should be good to go. So this is what I'm talking about by magnetic drain plug. Now you can actually see the magnet because I cleaned it off. I put my new washer on there. It's right there. And we're gonna toss this back in once the oil is completely drained. And then we're gonna grab the filter. We're gonna have to come back under here, clean up the mess the filter's gonna make. It usually drips like right on that arm right there. It'll drip down. So you just wanna wipe it up, you know, don't wanna make a mess down here. Everything is pretty leak free for the most part, besides that axle seal over there, which we still have to rebuild the front diff. As you can tell, there's no drive shaft, so we definitely still need to rebuild this front diff, put a drive shaft back in her, and then maybe we could take it off-road a little bit. So yeah. Hey guys, so I just put the drain plug back in with the new washer. I'm about to pull that oil filter off, and you want to make sure your pan is lined up underneath that oil filter, otherwise you'll get oil on the ground. And if you're working in a clean driveway, that's really gonna suck. So I'm gonna spin that off really quick and put the new one on, and then we can put some oil in it, and I'll show you guys how to reset the maintenance light, and then we should be good to go. All right, so the drain plug's in, new washer's on, new filter's on. I got a clean funnel. Make sure you're using a clean funnel. You don't want like no junk going into your motor. Now, if you're gonna use the same oil that I use, these aren't 5-quart jugs, these are 4-quart jugs. So just keep that in mind, and it takes 6 quarts. So you're gonna wanna either buy one of these in 2 quart bottles, or 2 of these, which is what I normally do, and then I have the other half for my next oil change. So that's just what I do. You could buy single quarts, but I just recommend buying 2 of these. This is pretty cheap oil. It's really good oil, and it's cheap, so it's a good thing, you know. So let me get this oil in, and then we'll go reset the maintenance light, and should be done with this video. Anytime you guys have oil, your local auto parts store will take the used oil, or if you work at a shop, you could just bring it obviously to your work, which is what I do. We actually use this for the heater, so especially with winter right around the corner, this will be a big help to us. You can get one of these jugs for cheap. AutoZone has them. I think it was like 10 bucks, but this holds, I think, 10 to 15 quarts, something like that, somewhere in between maybe. Yeah, you can get one of these, and it just makes it convenient. You can put a couple oil changes in here and then take it over, dump it, and then you have your container back. So yeah, just make sure you get rid of it the right way. Don't go dumping it in the ground or anything. Make sure you dispose of it. All right, so once you put all your oil in, you're gonna want to check your dipstick. I already did that. Make sure it's at the full line. You can take your funnel out that you have, put that where it needs to be. Here's the Mustang, still wrecked in the front. It's coming soon. But now we're gonna put our oil cap back on, which, like I said, this is a little bit of a tight fit for mine at least. but it does go back on. I also cleaned up underneath where the oil drips on. And then the only thing left we have to do is reset the maintenance reminder, which some of you guys might not use it, but I do use it because I don't like to have a sticker up there. So you just come in here, it's up here. Obviously you gotta close the door. Then you go to step and you see there $27.97. I know it's not due, but this is because I changed this overhead console. If you guys didn't see that, check it out. I posted it about 2 weeks ago. I'll put a link to that video in the description of this video. All you do is hold reset, 3,000 miles. You can actually set that to 5, 6, 7, whatever you want to set it to. I run normal oil, so I have it set to that. And then I like it on this, so that's why I put it back there. And you just start the vehicle and make sure everything's good. Obviously we're good, we got oil pressure, so we know we're good to go. Guys, so if you like what you saw in this video, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. Like I said, you guys have been killing it. I really appreciate that. I've never really gotten so many subscribers so quickly before, so that's definitely a good thing. We're at 331 subscribers. Maybe when we get to 1,000, we could do some like merchandise with like maybe the Mustang on it or something, do some hoodies, maybe do some hoodies with the Mustang, the Jeep, Subaru. I mean, I don't know, but got a little bit of ways to go before that. You know, need about 760-ish subscribers. So you guys keep killing it, keep liking, keep pushing this videos out. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.